If I could tell the whole world one thing, I would tell them this. I said, I'm just like y'all.
Good morning, Walking Discovery crew. Steven here. All right, I just woke up. It's like 6 o'clock. I'm somewhere in Alabama, and I've got to make it 2 hours northeast to Manchester, Georgia. I'm meeting up with my friend Michael. I'm going to church. I haven't gone to church in a long time, so I'm getting up early. I'm excited for y'all to meet Michael and to get to share a little bit about his perspective and community. Let me get up and get ready, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Here we go! Michael, my man! How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man?
All right. So I met up with Michael. We're out here in Manchester, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
In your hometown, your neck of the woods. And we're really out here in the mountains now.
Yeah, this is the country, so, I mean, service drops, don't be surprised.
We're going to go to service right now, get some food. So where's the spot after church and food we're going to go?
So it's called Warm Springs, Georgia, and I'll give y'all more about the history when we get there. Y'all will be amazed. So
all
just
right.
Sit back, relax, and just watch.
All right, let's roll to church, and then we'll pick up with you guys there.
Morning, y'all.
Something that struck me about Michael's church was the inclusive feeling environment. He's not the only autistic person who attends this church. They designate space for people who need to dance, stretch their body, and stim to move freely, feel the music, and be themselves. It's nice to see a church, which many would see as a rigid environment, offer these type of accommodations for folks to practice in their own way and in their own time. All right, let's get out of here and get some lunch.
We made it to Warm Springs. Let's get out of here and get our bellies fed.
All right.
What's up?
All right. So me and Michael are in Warm Springs. What's this place we're going to?
It's called the Bullock House.
The Bullock House. Okay. What type of food are we looking for?
It's southern. It's a buffet. So.
All right. I for one am hungry. I'm in the mood for some gravy, man. Some biscuits. They got that here?
They made.
All right.
It
Cool.
alternates day to day.
What's your all-time favorite thing to get from here?
Probably the salad bar and the macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah, I knew you were a Mac guy.
Everybody knows that. Excuse us.
Look at this little strip. It's beautiful here. Warm Springs. Here we are. Is this the spot?
Today. So let's go.
Let's go. All right, Michael. So what'd you get today?
I'm off with the salad. I gotta have my greens.
Gotta have your greens first. All right, I clearly did not start with the salad because I'm going in on the buffet today.
Go home or go big.
Go
big or go home.
All right, I am feeling full. You had to roll us out of there, man.
What's a wheelbarrow when you need one? And we're fixing to leave downtown now. That's just how quick it was.
That was the whole downtown.
There's no such thing as a midtown because it's uptown, midtown, downtown.
Gotcha.
And we're fixing to cross the street here. So let's do it.
Do it quick.
Everybody's related to each other somewhere around here, and I pick and choose like the ones I like to be related to.
So you have like a chosen family as well as your real family.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. All right, Michael. So Warm Springs has been very pleasant, and it's fitting on such a warm day, don't you think?
Yes, sir. Warm day for warm people, warm hands, warm hearts, warm springs.
This place that we're heading to next, what's it called again?
It's called Roosevelt Institute for Rehabilitation. And this, to put it politely, is college for people who have disabilities all over Georgia.
And you attended this place, right?
I did.
So what was your experience like at this place? Was it good, bad, in between?
I loved it. I mean, in the beginning, I wasn't so sure, but I'm a history buff.
Yeah.
So that was what intrigued me. Besides, I wanted independence. I never really had much independence growing up.
Uh-huh.
So I decided to give this place a shot, and I ran with it, and it became one of the best experiences of my life.
Great to hear that. When you say you didn't have much independence growing up, what do you mean by that?
People always just monitored everything I did, always asked me a billion questions, and everybody who knows me knows people with autism. Don't ask us a lot of questions.
Right.
I mean, if you want to know about something, cool, but don't be trying to be pestering around and trying to get my nosy my business, because I don't like people knowing everything about me. If I want you to know, I'll tell you. Otherwise, my life is none of your business.
Fair enough. It's good to set boundaries where you need to in life.
This day and age, people always tell me, you're not like most people, young people are right this day and age. It's, well, I don't care to be like everybody else. I'm my own person.
Right.
And the ones who are watching this, you should be your own person as well, because God didn't make you to be like everybody else. He made you to stand out and be your own person, not a copy of someone else.
Right. I love that, man. You're like speaking a lot of wisdom, and I feel like young people who are growing up in a similar position to you can really benefit a lot from the advice that you give of being your own person.
God puts us through trials and tribulations, and we learn and grow in the school forever. changed who I was as a person. I used to be so scared to talk to people, and I still do get scared from time to time.
Well, like I said before, off camera, you have a real gift for speaking and being inspirational. Would you say that you have a natural skill for it, or is it something that you
honestly
train?
don't know. I prayed about it for years.
Okay.
And little by little, God's been answering that prayer for me. And that's another thing how I know that God's there, because He answers prayers, not in your time, but in His time, because He knows what He's doing. So get your walking shoes ready.
I got my rocking shoes on, man. You know I'm always ready to walk.
Walking discovery, as He calls it.
All right, so here arriving at Roosevelt Warm Springs Institute for Rehabilitation. 96 years old.
It will be in October.
What do you think stood out about the Roosevelt Institute as opposed to other places that you've seen or been to?
I've never been to a real college before.
Okay.
Just been able to be around people like myself who understand each other, because we're like each other. I mean, we may not be exactly alike, but we have similar characteristics, and we can help each other from that way. But when I was here, there was people who were deaf, don't say hearing impaired, we don't say that word. People who have Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism, such as myself, and the list goes on and on.
So being around people who had similar life circumstances to you, was that something that it gave you that camaraderie, found your community?
In a way, yeah, but I've always got along with people who didn't have disabilities more.
Gotcha.
It's not because I didn't isolate them, it's just you have to understand, I spent half my life not knowing I had a disability. So when I finally discovered that I tried to hide it. But the people who knew me really well, like my teachers and other classmates, they knew better.
Have you heard of the term called masking before?
I have. I've done that.
Where is that something so you've done that. What does it feel like to mask?
Like somebody you're not.
To act like somebody you're not?
Because the thing is, I used to pretend that I didn't have a disability. I pretended that, and while it felt good in the moment, I was lying to God, and I was lying to myself mainly, and lying to everybody else. People would ask me what was wrong with me. And I don't know, I've been smoking all night.
You've been smoking?
That's what I would say, but the truth is I just was being myself.
Oh, so you would say that you had been smoking
pretty much, yeah.
to make up for the way that you might have been acting strange.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to be really tough, because you're trying to fit in by saying, because teenagers and young people, they smoke and having fun, and it sounds like you were trying to fit in by being cool like that, but also trying to fit in because you knew that you acted different.
But everybody knew me better than that.
Right.
I was just trying to look cool, but it's like, when I finally came to terms with my autism and stuff, I was happy with it, because that's me. That's a real person. And it's coming from my own heart. Whether I agree with people or not, hey, listen, we're not the same. You're not the same as me. I'm not the same as you. That's okay. We may have the same disability with two different outlooks, because we're two totally different people.
I love that you're so honest, and it's so important for people to hear your story because of the way you speak about it. You don't sugarcoat it.
If you want something sugar-coated, talk to Willy Wonka about that.
Where do you come up with this stuff, man? You're like a comedian and a preacher all rolled into one.
I'm just myself, man. Take it or leave it.
I don't want to get into touchy subjects. I don't want to talk about anything that you don't want to talk about, but going along with your upbringing and everything, were you ever faced with challenges with bullying or anything like that?
I was.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
In fact, I was a bully too, to my peers, because some of them couldn't read really well. And I would chastise them for that, because I could read really good and they couldn't. So they would be bullying me too, but I was just not always the nicest of people.
Was it because you were angry and confused in your own self?
Yeah, and I just had to take it out on the next target. When I first met my best friend, she was so friendly to me. She says, "Hey, I'm Kelsey, it's nice to meet you." And I literally looked up and down. I said, "And? Who cares?" And I rolled my eyes. She still didn't give up. She was so persistent, but here we are, 12 years later almost. I realized as I got older, that's not who I wanted to be. Instead of just telling the people at home how I felt, I would just lash out on that anybody was around. And it was not cool to do that. And this is Blanchard Hall right here.
What's your process in making friends? Because I know a lot of adults struggle with that.
It just depends on the day. Some days I can do it, other times I'm just quiet as a mouse. And I'm surprised I'm so friendly today because I didn't get no sleep last night.
Why didn't you get any sleep?
I was just too excited about today.
Nice.
So
that makes me feel good.
Probably after this evening goes away, I'll probably crash. Now this is one of the oldest buildings on campus. This is called Georgia Hall. Let's go inside.
Okay. So this is where you went to school, man? Dang, this is nice, dude. I think anyone would be lucky to go to a college that looked this good, man. Beautiful.
And now, if we're allowed to, we're going to the dormitory.
Okay.
If they'll let us in. If they don't, that's cool too.
All right.
Don't just...
Okay. So you stayed at these dorms?
I did.
Did you have a roommate?
I did.
Did you get along?
Do
you find it to be challenging to live like in close proximity with?
Sometimes it's roommates you get along, other times you don't.
Right.
Just because you don't get along today doesn't mean you can't get along at all.
Yeah. And some people who get along, they're not always meant to live with each other.
You got it.
I've learned that.
Okay, let's go this way. Take a break for a second.
Yeah. We're going incognito. Let's check you guys in a minute. All right, so full disclosure, we kind of had to sneak in. And this guy was kind enough to let us tour the campus on the off hours. Hopefully we don't get caught sneaking around these old halls. Ooh, look at this. I would love having a track like this. Yeah. I could rock in circles for days.
I can't tell you how many times I would just have my AirPods in.
Yeah.
And I'd be just like old time like.
The Roosevelt campus was one of the most impressive I've ever seen. It had a full-sized NBA basketball court, a bowling alley, an Olympic-sized pool, and this sweet gaming and movie room. I wish I had more time to show you, but little did we know the fuzz was hot on our trail.
It's beautiful here.
It turns out the head honchos were visiting today, so our man from the front desk snuck us out. What a legend. Appreciate you. Thanks a lot. It was a little mischief. We're breaking and entering, man. We're like Batman and Robin.
I call this place my first step into being who I was.
So we're heading back to the main strip, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's do it. Is it cool if I go back to asking you some questions? In what ways do you think being autistic affected the way you were able to make and keep friends?
Because I tell people like it is. I try my best to be genuine all the time.
Yeah.
And people like that, it's rare to find.
Right.
So that's one good quality. And also is, I don't sugarcoat anything, as you said. People either respect it or they're scared of it.
Uh-huh.
Because if they're scared of it, they just don't know what to do.
From my experiences talking with others, the social nuance, you know, sometimes neurotypical people can be like you said, they sugarcoat things, they beat around the bush, they don't get to the point because they're trying to be like polite or something, or like uphold some social norms. So with many autistic people, it seems like you say what you're feeling because that's what makes the most sense.
Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Right. It can be like a strength and a weakness in a way. Like,
yeah, it's bittersweet.
Because you'll meet those people that connect with you, but sometimes you can push people away who don't understand why you're saying things like that because they're not used to it.
And what you don't understand, people want to throw out like you're being rude and disrespectful. No, not trying to.
Yeah, not trying to be rude, just saying what I'm feeling. You want me to be honest, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you don't want to know, don't ask me.
Good point. Good point.
Well, I might just say what I think regardless.
Or what we were talking about, you having a great memory. Like, you can remember people's birthdays like nobody's business.
March 31st, 1992, am I right?
That's me. I'm interested in, and I'm sure a lot of other people are interested in, having a great memory like yours. It's, as much as it's helpful, but it's got to have downsides, right?
Most definitely. Everything does.
So what are the downsides of having a great memory?
That sometimes when people ask you, do you remember? And sometimes you don't want to remember it. You don't want to remember, hey, to go take the trash out. Did I tell you to do that? Yeah. Why aren't you doing it? I don't feel like it right now. They automatically think I'm a computer. They said, hey, if you don't mind, don't forget to tell me to do this and that. So, look, y'all, if I'm your calculator and your reminder, I need some payment now. Not really. I don't mind. But it's like, I'm a human being. I'm not a robot.
Right.
And people think, since I remember everything, that I'm a machine.
Right.
No, I'm a person. I'm a human being, just like you. I'm just like, if I could tell the whole world one thing, I would tell them this. I said, I'm just like y'all.
Yep.
I laugh, I cry. I get mad, I get scared, I get angry, just like anybody else does.
I think there's this like common misconception with autistic people that they don't have any emotions.
That's a big lie.
Big lie.
If anything, our emotions are literally over the top.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is that a lot of autistic people, they might not act like it on the outside, but from what I've seen, that when you know somebody, you can know what to pick up on. A lot of autistic people feel stronger emotions than most.
It's like this, like I told
people.
you earlier today. Somebody unfriended me on Facebook. People do that to me, and like some people's like, hey, whatever. With me, the number goes down. It's like, what did I do wrong this time? It's like, I'm learning who cares, because, I tell myself that, but yet I worry about it all the time. Like, who is it? Who is it? It's like my best friend always tell me, don't worry about those people. And it's so easy to say that, but unless you're us, don't tell us what to do.
And I guess that goes along with your great memory, because a lot of people wouldn't even notice if someone unfriended them on Facebook. But you remember.
Yeah, and sometimes when people do that, and I have their phone number, and I text them and say, hey, what happened? What gives? They don't respond. It's like, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to bite you. Come talk to me about it. Let's talk about this.
Why don't you just say what you're feeling instead of being passive aggressive? I love that outlook, you know. I think the world would be a better place if people were more direct.
And one thing that I get offended by when people's like, you know, everybody's a little autistic. I said, no, they're not. No, they're not. Leave it alone.
When they say everyone's a little bit autistic, do you think that's like belittling in a way?
It is, and it's also a cop-out because, I mean, we didn't ask to be like this. God makes us all different. Just because we're different than you doesn't mean we don't want to be treated different than you. I mean, we laugh, we cry, we have emotions. I mean, we have a meltdown. If you see us having a meltdown, shoot, pull up a chair and have a meltdown party with us. Come on now.
We might not all be autistic, but we're all human beings.
Last time I checked.
Yeah.
Wait, am I? Yep, I'm a human.
What do you feel about people treating disabled folks like they're children, even when they're adults?
Honestly, it just depends on their mentality. Because some people have autistic minds like a child. Like with me, I have kids' books at home. I don't have a lot of people come in my house, so you're one of the few lucky ones. If people say like kids' books, they say, yeah, those are my books, but it's like, I like your kids' books. But if somebody has a mind like a child, don't say, hey, do not treat us like a baby. We're not babies. Like,
right.
We don't need our diaper change. Some of us do, some of us don't. I'm blessed enough to go to the bathroom on my own and wash myself and bathe myself, everything on my own.
It's okay for people to have like quote unquote childish interests.
You like that, that's what you like. Like with me, is I'm a Christian. Everybody who knows me knows that. I also love horror movies, and people think it's a real combination. And this God convicts me. If you meet a 35-year-old autistic young man, his mind says of a six-year-old, and he has kids' books like Papa books and Bible story books.
Yeah.
You want to say something? Is that bothering you?
Why is that any of your business?
It's not bothering you, is it? They say, well, no, but I'm just concerned. Why are you concerned? I mean, we like things that make us happy. Like, I like kids' books. I like pictures of my friends.
As I've met tons of autistic people and neurotypical people who are into things that were designed to be consumed by children. Kids' movies, kids' books. You know, when I go and reminisce on my childhood, it's like comfort food almost. It feels good.
Like, I got to see some books in thrift stores that was around when I was a kid, when we were kids.
Yeah.
And to me, I look inside the books because when I was a kid, I moved around so much that I left a lot of my books behind. I had a big, massive book collection as a preteen, and when I moved out of the mobile home, they were all taken. The whole trailer was demolished. I see old books, same books that I had when I was a kid. It'd be so cool if it had my name in them from when I was a kid. And that's never happened before. And so now a lot of times, I'll show you the book collection at home.
Okay.
Some of the books that I have at home now are the same books that I had when I was a kid. I mean, if it's bothering you, then I'm not sorry. Go find something that you like to do. You don't bother me about the things that you like. Like
right.
If you like science fiction books, or if you like heavy metal.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't like it. That don't mean that's why the world is so unique. Autism is a huge spectrum. I mean, there's people who are brilliant, like Anthony Hopkins, Susan Boyle. They're on the spectrum.
Right.
You don't ever know that. There's other people who's, oh, you're my role model. I said, look, y'all, I'm not your role model. This is not a role I'm playing, and I'm definitely not a model. I mean, I'm just a person. I'm a person just like you, trying to live my life every day to the fullest. Sometimes I do really good. It's not so hot.
Right. What you're putting out there is that autism is part of life. And there's people all around you who are autistic, and we're starting to get to the point as a society where I think, hopefully, people are starting to catch on to that and starting to show people more respect as a human being.
You meet somebody with autism, if you don't know how to treat them how you would want to be treated.
Exactly. It all comes down to the golden rule, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated, and you're going to get through that situation in a much better way, and you might even make a friend.
Yeah, be a friend, not a bully.
Right.
And now we're leaving Mom's friends.
All right, cool, Mike. We are wrapping up the tour of your campus. Thanks for showing me around, man.
No problem. Thank you.
So right now we're headed to...
We're going to get some ice cream, and after we eat ice cream, we're going to my house. So we'll see y'all there.
All right, we'll see you there.
Check.
Wow. You made it to the end of the video. If you're still here, I just want to say that I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch this episode in our Walk and Talk series with Micheal. As I was editing the video, I realized that we had so much footage that I'm going to have to split the video up into 2 parts. So stay tuned for part 2 coming soon. This was by far the hardest that I've ever worked on creating a Walk and Discovery video, and I'm honored to have had a guest that was so funny, insightful, and genuinely good-hearted like my friend Micheal. Our team has been hard at work creating free educational content on YouTube, moderating our new Discord channel, which you can join, link in the description, as well as hosting video chats for our group members and followers. So I have to ask, if you're able to, please support us on Patreon. For as little as $5 per month, you can help us walk strong in our mission to help raise awareness and acceptance in our country and around the world. If you're able to support at $15 and above, you'll be invited to our online social clubs Wednesdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for gaming, group watching YouTube videos, and just hanging out and having a good time. It's a great community, so I urge you to join. But it doesn't take money to support Walking Discovery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the Walking Discovery YouTube channel for weekly videos highlighting neurodivergent perspectives. Like the video to make sure it gets sent out to people who could really use this information, and share it with somebody that you think would benefit from it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments as well. We love hearing from our followers and viewers, and I read and personally reply to about 90% of the comments on this page. Anyway, that's it from us for today. Stay tuned for part 2 and a new video next Sunday. Cheers, y'all. Thanks for watching.